Championship week has ended, and we know who now plays in the Super Bowl. Also, the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator hiring process is starting to look quite troubling to me. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's talk about the Steelers a little bit, championship weekend a little bit. Let's start with championship weekend. 49ers and the Chiefs in the big game, Super Bowl. And that's going to be, 13 days away from now. So we'll hear a lot of Patrick Mahomes talk being the greatest, everything about that. And it's well-deserved. Patrick Mahomes, yet again, rises to the occasion. And what have we said on this channel? A gazillion times, guys, and it seems that nobody wants to listen, and I get a lot of flack from Ravens fans. Lamar Jackson is not a franchise quarterback. He doesn't get it done in the biggest games. He is 2-4 inside of the postseason. Dude, he just doesn't do it. He don't get it done. He is the MVP of the regular season. Lamar Jackson is amazing in the regular season, but yesterday you saw him looking antsy, looking off schedule, not able to get things going. Maybe you could blame a little bit on that Ravens offensive coordinator by not establishing the run game by having 6 total runs, I believe. Something crazy like that, and a team that has led the league in rushing this season. Maybe that's to blame, but Lamar Jackson was putting the game on his shoulders. At least the Ravens were putting it on his shoulders in a duel against Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. And what happens? Patrick Mahomes wins. And then another surprising way that the Chiefs won, guys. They took a page out of the Pittsburgh Steelers book. The Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Ravens 17-10 twice this season. And what happens to the Baltimore Ravens in Championship Sunday? They lose 17-10. And I think maybe Andy Reid dug into the bag of tricks on how the Steelers control Lamar Jackson, and they did that formula. They worked that formula. They were patient. Patrick Mahomes hit big plays when he needed to be, and they made Lamar Jackson uncomfortable constantly, and you saw the result. And again, guys, I'm going to say it, name one big game Lamar Jackson has won. 2-4 in the NFL in the playoffs. Doesn't strike me as that guy. He doesn't strike me as the guy that's going to get you to the Super Bowl. He's a guy that's going to have exciting regular seasons, but he's not that guy that's going to hoist the Lombardi trophy. And until that happens, I'm going to continue to say that. So we'll see how the Ravens bounce back with over 20 free agents, big name free agents coming off the books next year. And how are they going to be able to overcome that many free agents? How are they going to be able to rebuild this roster? It's going to be a challenge if you're Harbaugh in the Baltimore Ravens inside a very competitive AFC North, and you really have to get things done, and you can't piss around, and having that many free agents is going to be troublesome if you're the Baltimore Ravens. Also, you had teams that didn't really give you much trouble this year. You had Joe Burrow out. Deshaun Watson didn't really play. The Steelers with a quarterback transition going on. So Lamar Jackson had the table set for him, and he didn't get it done. But anyway, let's move on to the other game that was really, really exciting. The best game of the weekend, I thought, out of the two. And that was the Detroit Lions facing the San Francisco 49ers in Levi's Stadium. And the Detroit Lions fall a hair short. A lot of people are beating Dan Campbell up because he was aggressive, but he has been aggressive all year, so I guess you got to kind of live and die by that, and it is what it is. But the Detroit Lions came out hard, and they had a big lead, 24-10 at the half. Christian McCaffrey seeming non-existent. You had Brock Purdy not playing well, and then in that second half, the 49ers came out, and they absolutely dismantled the Detroit Lions, and that was big. But if you're the Detroit Lions, was that your chance? Did you just watch your chance pass you by? Are you going to get another chance? This was the first time in a gazillion years that you were in a championship game, able to play for a championship. And man, you failed. You had it. And does this Detroit team come back and have another magical year? Dan Campbell has steadily increased his win total throughout his 3 seasons, and this one being his best. And we'll see how this Detroit Lions team can bounce back. I think they're going to talk with Jared Goff, figure out a contract. Rumor has it he'll be in the $40 million area. So we'll see how that goes for Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions, and how this is all going to play out in a very competitive NFC with the top teams. And I don't understand it. People pick like the Cowboys and shit like that every year, and they continue to fail. But the real true juggernaut is the San Francisco 49ers with their steadiness at the top. And that's how it is. And the Detroit Lions have joined them there. And they are the two powerhouses. And they are very good football teams. And I think the Chiefs are going to have a daunting task ahead of them inside of the Super Bowl when you see Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers square off against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. We'll give you our score predictions and things of that nature down the road for the big game for the Super Bowl. Let's talk now about our team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and why I think this offensive coordinator hire is starting to really, interview process is starting to take a bad turn for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Candidates are getting scooped up. You can't piss around with this. And I understand the Steelers are trying to do their due diligence. They're trying to interview as many people as they can. They are trying to leave no stone unturned. But if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're going to have to make a move soon. Are they holding out for Clint Kubiak, who now is going to be another 13 days away from being interviewed because his team is playing in the Super Bowl, the passing game coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers? Is that who they're holding out for? Is that the eye of their prize? The end-all be-all for them is Clint Kubiak. Is that the guy they want? They had a guy in Zach Robinson that was a big-time candidate in my eyes, a guy that I thought could really come in and make some big moves and really and make this offense better. But he was hired to be under Raheem Morris in Atlanta, the new head coach in Atlanta for the Falcons, and now Zach Robinson joins him as the new offensive coordinator. What do? Now Zach Robinson's off the board. In my eyes, guys, I think there's 3 candidates remaining, maybe 4, that could possibly get this job. I'm not sure if Arthur Smith, he's my 4th. He's my guy that's on the bubble. I don't think a guy like Cliff Kingsbury is going to get the job. But there's really 3 guys that I think that have a real shot at this job now that I really look at it. And one of them might get a head coaching job down in Tennessee. There's only 2 positions open, and I think it's Tennessee and the Saints, I want to say. So there's 2 coaching positions open right now, head coaching positions. And I think Thomas Brown is my front runner for the Steelers OC if he doesn't get hired by the Tennessee Titans. I think right now that's probably the front runner without Clint Kubiak being involved. Then I think you have Gerard Johnson, the passing game coordinator for the Texans. I think he has an excellent shot and an inside track at being one of the top candidates inside of this coaching search for the Pittsburgh Steelers at offensive coordinator. But the big one, I think, is Clint Kubiak. I think that's where the Steelers really have their hearts set. A son of a former Super Bowl winning coach, a guy that has football running through his veins. And I think that that's really where the Steelers want to go. I think that that's the direction that they're trying to get to. They're trying to follow is to Clint Kubiak. And all signs, to me, point to that. But if you're the Steelers, you can't keep waiting for too long because these guys are getting scooped up. Positions are filling, and they're filling fast. And you're going to be left with your 10th choice if you don't start really getting this thing together. Are you going to bring in a guy that you're not comfortable with because he was the only option available, the only option left? You might have to bring in a Cliff Kingsbury. And I don't know if that's the best move. I don't know. But I'm just saying, how high does he rank on the Steelers list? We don't know. But again, guys, I think it's between 4. Thomas Brown, Gerard Johnson, and Arthur Smith, and the dark horse Clint Kubiak that has just not been able to be interviewed yet. And I think if Clint was already interviewed, I think you would already have a hire at the offensive coordinator position for Clint Kubiak to be the Steelers' next offensive coordinator. I really, truly think that if he was interviewed already. But they can only interview him over Zoom. And this is a position that Mike Tomlin wants to sit down with these guys and really dissect their plan for his football team. And he really has to feel comfortable. But I think maybe this team is waiting a little too long. And they're not pulling the trigger on guys that really could make moves. And I think it's a typical Tomlin type thing, and I think that the whole building type thing, not just Tomlin. I think they need to really pull the trigger on this. I think they need to figure this out sooner rather than later. Within the next 2 weeks, this has to be done. And if Clint Kubiak's your guy, soon as that Super Bowl's over, you need to get him in that building the next day for an interview, or you need to fly your ass out to San Francisco or to Las Vegas, wherever he is, and interview him, because the Super Bowl's played in Las Vegas. You need to fly your ass out there and be there the day after, even if they lose, whatever, especially after a win. You need to get there because he's going to be a hot name and people are going to pull the trigger on him quickly. They're going to offer him a position faster than you think. So this is where the Steelers sit right now, guys. That's how championship weekend sits right now. We took the weekend off. I hope you guys enjoyed football this weekend. We're getting back to all our regular scheduled programming this week with our live shows, with our daily uploads, all that fun stuff. So continue to watch Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason. Until tomorrow, peace.